Move, 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 move. Becoming increasingly likely that we are going to have a massive HBAR and XRP supply shock in 2025. Now, many of you might be wondering, what exactly does this mean for the price of these amazing digital assets? And well, my answer to that question is some very good things. You see, if there's a very small circulating supply and there is a ton of demand for that supply, the price of any asset in that scenario will go up tremendously. And due to a number of factors we're going to talk about in today's video, I think this is an incredibly likely case scenario incredibly soon here. Now, there's so many different things that are at play right now and so many massive news stories that are happening, whether it be politics, whether it be cryptocurrency specifically, or just global adoption. And so I want to start with just talking about this. Donald Trump has been talking more and more about the Canada becoming US's 51st state. In fact, he said that recently on another Truth Social post. He says as follows: many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned, and if Canada merged with the US, there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of the Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. Now, this might sound a little bit funny, especially correlating it back to cryptocurrency, but this actually would be, in my opinion, an incredibly good thing for crypto, because if Canada is officially part of the United States, it'll also get all of that pro-crypto legislation as well. And I think this is becoming more and more of a likely possibility that this could actually happen. I mean, I've talked to many different people in Canada. Many of them are actually fully on board with this. Canada doesn't really have an identity anymore, and I think joining the United States of America would give a lot of people a newfound hope and a new feeling of patriotism that they've been losing for a very long time. On top of all of the economic benefits of being part of the #1 economy in the world. I mean, Canada is a massive economy. There's a lot there to give to the United States. And under Trump, I do think that the Canadian economy, or the U.S. economy, would absolutely boom, assuming it did do this merger. And of course, so would cryptocurrencies for all Canadians and all U.S. citizens, because of all the resources that would now be available to both of these two countries when they are one. So I do think this is something that definitely deserves our attention, and it's something that Trump is obviously taking very seriously. He's now talked about this numerous times, and I just wanted to point that out real quick before we get into a lot of what the XRP news is in today's video. Now, first, what I want to talk about when it comes to XRP is Fox News, okay? And a number of other news media outlets have been taking XRP a lot more seriously. In fact, I'm going to play this clip for you because it's really cool. I did not think that we'd be getting this type of mainstream coverage, but here we are. Listen up.
Another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation. They did this really weird lawsuit against them. And basically, the Ripple's going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. So they created their own stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it. And there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
these cynics, though, tell me, only put as much in this space as you're willing to lose. Effectively, as of now, some people say it feels like a casino. Do you agree with that?
That's the best example I have is this. Don't not get involved with something. Do whatever you would do for a nice weekend away with your spouse.
Okay.
And instead of doing that weekend, maybe put that in crypto. Here's what I'll tell you, 3 to 5 years from now, you either made some real money or you just lost one weekend together. Not a big deal.
Yeah. So people are becoming increasingly bullish on XRP, so much to the fact that we have Fox News now talking about it. Some people point to this towards a top signal rather. How I view this is a little bit different. Listen, I've seen the last 3 bull cycles. I kind of understand what's going on now. I do think, generally speaking, the mainstream starts to catch on. A ton of retail investors come in. Tons of people are going to buy XRP. And we're likely to see the top of this year. I don't think we've hit that top yet. I do think we still have a long way to go. And this is an indicator of that. What we're starting to see is the people that are not savvy to cryptocurrency are starting to join in. People that used to just talk about stocks and the S&P 500 and technology outside of crypto are now getting into the crypto sphere and taking it a lot more serious, especially with
man, on the platform in front of the bomb at
cryptocurrency as well. And so, yeah, I think this is something that we definitely need to take serious because, yeah, I mean, Ripple's certainly taking it serious. They're doing a number of massive developments which are really going to help the DeFi ecosystem grow. In fact, the latest news here is the Ripple team has officially teamed up with Chainlink to improve the RLUSD stablecoin using real-time price data for secure DeFi transactions on Ethereum and the XRP ledger with none other than Chainlink. Now, Chainlink is actually such an amazing smart contract platform that enables you to do so many new DeFi applications and automate a number of different processes. Chainlink completely revolutionized the way that Ethereum smart contracts work, and it's about to do the very same thing to the XRP ledger. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, a ton of developers are going to see this news and they're going to start building on the XRP ledger, providing new DeFi ecosystems for people to use, and of course, drive more use case and utility for the XRPL. This is a big reason as to why Ethereum did so well from a development standpoint. Chainlink really opened up the doors in that regard and helped them get, in my opinion, billions of dollars more in volume over the long term. Chainlink is a massive ecosystem. Don't get me wrong; it is huge.
Goat got bombed down right here outside of 8.
Incredibly big deal. This is going to benefit both ecosystems a lot, and I would love to see Ripple become the new development hub within the crypto space. Kind of similarly to what Ethereum was during all of these other previous cycles. So this is really amazing. Speaking of mainstream coverage, we also can see that Wall Street Bets is now talking about XRP as well. XRP is getting catapulted into the stratosphere right now. All of the top news media outlets, all of the top followed, billions of followers. For example, Wall Street Bets is almost 1 million. So many more people are talking about XRP now and taking it serious. And so I think you guys should too. I think we're about to see a massive wave of retail come into XRP, especially with ETFs. And we're going to get into ETFs in just a second here because the HBAR Bull, somebody who I love, he makes a lot of HBAR content, recently released a clip here talking about HBAR ETFs, Solana ETFs, XRP ETFs. And here's the deal, guys. Especially with XRP growing as much as it recently did, that's where everyone thinks the next ETF is going to come, right? And so with XRP ETFs coming, and on top of that, Fox News and mainstream media outlets talking about cryptocurrency, what we're seeing here is an incredibly special moment and, the perfect storm, essentially. You have all of these older generation and people that are not savvy with cryptocurrency that watch Fox News, and what they're going to see very soon is the launch of an XRP ETF and an HBAR ETF. They already saw what happened with Bitcoin, so they're going to run in on those ETFs, try to get in early and make as much as they possibly can. And then on top of that, there's going to be so many new people that will just get self-custody of XRP all at the same time. Yeah, I do think that we're going to see billions of dollars come into these ecosystems. And so I think it's a mistake not to get HBAR and not to get XRP before the introduction of these ETFs, because we've already seen what this has done for Bitcoin. I mean, plain and simple, it absolutely catapulted Bitcoin up in price after their ETF was launched. And yeah, I think HBAR and XRP are going to be no different. In fact, I think they're probably going to be even more widely adopted because, let's just face it, the technology behind these two projects is far superior to anything else on the market. We could also see that HBAR has been actually doing extremely well, massively outperforming the rest of the market, and because of this, it's been getting the eyes and ears of top media outlets as well. It's not just XRP. CoinVero, somebody who has millions of subscribers on YouTube and almost 1 million followers on X, he's now talking about HBAR more and more as well. He's taking this ecosystem extremely serious because he realizes that there's a lot of people that are interested now, and it's worth for him to talk about it. I mean, I was talking about HBAR in the trenches ever since it was like 4 cents per coin, just nowhere near the price it is now. But more and more people are starting to wake up, and I'm welcoming this because I do think this is going to lead to something really amazing, more amazing than even the recent highs that we got right here of 36 cents and whatnot. So with that being said, I was actually messing around with Grok a little bit, and I was asking it, using the available information, please give me a likelihood of an XRP supply shock in 2025. Because, I have been looking at the data, and I think it's actually extremely likely, especially with the introduction of an XRP ETF. And the one thing with Grok is it doesn't like to speculate too much. But what it told me is there is a moderate likelihood of an XRP supply shock in 2025. The main cited reasons is rising demand, current supply management, regulatory and legal outcomes, market conditions, and existing predictions, right? But I think the one thing that the AI is not really factoring in here as much as it should is the XRP ETFs. It does mention it, but I think it's pretty much set in stone at this point that XRP ETFs will be introduced sometime in 2025, and this is going to be an absolute explosion of volume for both HBAR and XRP. And we saw what happened with Bitcoin already, where it went from like $40,000 to over $100,000 per coin in a very short period of time. The thing with XRP is, it has a much lower circulating supply available that holders are willing to put out there. In other words, XRP diamond handlers are absurd. Like, they hold this thing no matter what. You guys are absolutely incredible for that. And I do think that is going to be a reason for XRP going absolutely crazy. We've already seen and gotten a taste of that so far in this bull run, where XRP went from 48 cents to over $2, in an incredibly short period of time. And so I want you guys to think about the possibilities with an XRP ETF here driving billions of dollars of volume, very much like what we saw with Bitcoin. It's going to be absolutely insane. Now, with all of that being said, I would like to point out that if you guys want to really make the most bang for your buck, well, there's no better place to do that than BTCC, the exchange, where you get a 10% deposit bonus on all your first-time deposits, and extra bonuses up to $10,000 per user. I do think that it's going to be an amazing year, and it's only going to be amazing if you take full advantage of it. So I want you guys to get the most that you possibly can. If you're on any other exchange outside of BTCC, get on there, guys. Transfer your funds over to get that 10% bonus. Doesn't matter if you have $100,000, $10,000, whatever. As long as it's over $500 that you're transferring down to the exchange, you're going to get that 10% bonus, and it's going to give you a lot of extra bang for your buck that no other exchange is offering right now. So I'd love to see you guys on there. And guys, let's just have a great 2025. This year is just perfectly aligned to just absolutely break so many records. And I gotta say, it's just an exciting time. It's just an exciting time that we all gotta take advantage of. So yeah, much love to all of you. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace out.
Bitcoin and crypto have been on a tear this year. But behind the price action, how is the global adoption of crypto progressing? How many people have crypto wallets now? And how many poor souls still don't know what a blockchain is?
Link everything to the blockchain.
Oh, I know all about blockchain. Stay tuned to find out the answers to these and other pressing questions about global crypto adoption, courtesy of an impressive new report based on almost 20,000 interviews with people in 18 different countries. This is a serious data set we've got here. Stick around to the end of this video so you don't miss the key takeaways. Okay, today's report is titled Global Survey on Crypto and Web3, and it's the second edition of an opinion survey published by Consensus. If you're new here, you're probably thinking, Consensus who? Well, feel free to skip ahead if you're already familiar, but otherwise, here's a quick intro. Consensus is one of the biggest names in the Ethereum universe, and by extension, in all of crypto. It was founded in 2014 by Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin, and is best known as the developer of MetaMask, which has remained the leading Web3 wallet for EVM-compatible blockchains since its launch in 2016. Now, apart from MetaMask, Consensus is also responsible for a large portion of the tools and infrastructure used by Ethereum developers. As such, Consensus is probably second only to Vitalik Buterin himself in its influence over Ethereum. Well, maybe tied with Lido actually, but who's counting? This influence has led to some Ethereum centralization concerns, but that's a conversation for another video. If you're familiar with the general ethos of Ethereum, then you'll know what Consensus is all about. The company has fingers in too many pies to list them all here, but just know that these guys are a serious outfit of Ethereum OGs. Now, before I start reeling off statistics, we need to know how this survey was conducted and who its respondents were. After all, it would be very easy to cook up bullish opinion survey results if your sample was a bunch of degens over on crypto Twitter, but it would also be a bit of a stretch to describe that data as public opinion. The good news is that Consensus commissioned YouGov, one of the world's top online research data and analytics agencies, to conduct this survey. It's not every day you see crypto firms publishing data collected by such a high-profile pollster, so this is an encouraging start. Of course, every poll will have limitations, and there are plenty of valid criticisms of polling in general, which we'll leave for another YouTube channel. But as far as pollsters go, YouGov has a reputation for conducting reliable and accurate surveys and being...
It is becoming increasingly launch, and yeah, I think HBAR and XRP are going to be no different, and more as well. He's taking this ecosystem extremely serious because he realizes that there's a lot of people that are interested now, and it's worth for him to talk about it. I mean, I was talking about HBAR in the trenches ever since it was like 4 cents per coin, just nowhere near the price it is now. But more and more people are...
Perfect. Am I the only degen? Am I the only one watching what's happening right now on the screen? I don't think so. And I almost promise you right now, I don't think so. What is going on, everybody?
It looks like your Wi-Fi name or password has changed.
Alert.
To update your Wi-Fi information, go
Days
to the
ago,
Alexa
we had
app.
a green alert, and I'm like, let's go, everybody. I like that. But right now, are you ready? Because if you've been watching us, guys, if you've been following the channel, if you are paying attention to what's happening, and we've been telling you here, we are waiting for a delicious, nice dip. And it seems that that's something that we're getting right now. It's a bunch of news and updates, honestly, as far as Trump. Today I was eating breakfast, and I was watching that on Fox Business, Fox News, like so many headliners. And well, I mean, just get ready, man. Just get ready, because things are gonna get pretty real, good and better. But it's just kind of like we have this transition of whales trying to liquidate other people. So don't worry, guys, we're just starting. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys, and consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on those notification bells. Welcome. How is the community doing right now? Yo, what's up? Man, I wonder who has some decent cash on hand to deploy and buy the dip for XRP, for Edera HBAR, for Algorand. So let's see if in the next couple of minutes, everybody, you and I can get some trades, all right? How's everybody doing right now? Question in the chat right now, let me go ahead and get my polling info right now coming in as we're seeing some more retracements. Oh boy, 227, where are you at, buddy? Welcome to the 500 people watching us right now. Welcome. Look, many times Oscar Ramos is wrong, okay? I'm not a genie. I'm not the brightest guy you can meet here on YouTube. I am not, okay? And that's okay. I live life. But after 4 years in crypto, I know how to recognize a fake bullish momentum that I just say, I'm not gonna buy anything until I see some butters coming in, some bears coming in, some people calling me names and calling me a scammer. When people start calling me a scammer, then I'm finally like, oh yes, okay, we're getting we're getting hotter, right? We're getting warmer. It's when they start calling me names and that you don't know what you're talking about and that this and that. That's when I know we're going in the right direction as far as price predictions, right? It's just what it is, fam. I hate to break it to you guys, but it is what it is. What's going on, Peter Pablo in the house? Emily watching. Riverside is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How much XRP do you have? I have decent, and nobody is forced to reveal your backs, okay? Nobody is forced to hammer load. It's true, bro. So, I got some delicious water. No red candles drinking, but soon, you know me. All right, everybody. So, huge favor to the entire community. Drop a like right now because that's gonna help
let me
us
lock
reach
in
to
since
more
they talking.
friends and to tell people what in the world is going on, right? Because, oh boy, why don't we go ahead and bring Bitcoin to the equation right now here? Oh, I have Telegram. Let me close this one. Okay, we have XRP on one side, and here, let's go ahead and bring Bitcoin. Are we on 96 now?
Yo, boat side. I was
baby.
spawn boat side at A. At B, I'm sorry.
$96,000. Look at that. Oscar. Yep, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew something. It's just crazy, you know, because Donald J. Trump is coming super soon. And why do we see these sell-offs? Well, because people want to kill each other, bro. People want to kill each other. I mean, people are here to liquidate each other. And today we saw this. Let me show you, fam. What is happening, my friends? Welcome, welcome. So many news. Look. Justin, this happened about 3 hours ago. So if you're already at the 3 hours of liquidations, I think we are in the 500 million liquidations today. I think so. We're in the 500 million liquidations today. No problem at all. Let me go ahead and make myself a little bit smaller right here. We'll go ahead and give it a like. Now, the question in the chat, sorry, I forgot about that. XRP heading next. And let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this. And let's do this. And let's do this. And let's do this. Alright, guys? If you are a powerful XRP investor, take a look at this poll and tell me what you think is going to happen. XRP price heading next. Let me fix it. Right you go. Let's go. Where are we going in your humble opinion? Are we going to $3? Which means that we stop dumping right now and then we start pumping. Are we go to 210? Meaning that we're gonna drop more and I'm gonna stop at 210. Are we going to 2 flat, meaning that we're gonna be dropping 27 cents and 2 flat, rejecting, right? Or are we actually going under 2, meaning more opportunities for us? So tell me. I want to see where people are feeling right now. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the price of BTC right here. We're at 96,000. Let me close this one for you guys. So the price really started dropping at 4 a.m. today. It's January the 7th, 4 a.m. right here. Right about here, everybody. Let's go ahead and change this ones to yellow. Let's go. So how's everybody doing, guys? Welcome. Joshua in the house, what's up, buddy? 3 won't be until after the 20th. Joe is saying 210, 180, 150. You want to go to 67 cents, man? That's crazy. What's happening to the 1,000 people joining us right now? Immediately to a decent sell-off live stream. Don't you like it, man? I love it, brother. I love it. Red alert. Red alert right now for the prices of everything right now. Trump going to jail, there'll be a sell-off, of course, but he's not going to jail. He's not going to jail. Road to $1. The great shakeout. Yeah, I think that's something that we've been seeing right now. A lot of people saying and talking about the great shakeout. And that's what we're seeing so far. 2.27 right now on 96. Let's see what is dropping the most. Dropping the most is Punky with 11%. Jasmine. It's like the last 3 days we have seen the prices right doing really well, and I already knew. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. I already knew. Let me go ahead and just keep my cash safe and sound. Now, to those asking, Oscar, where are we buying more XRP? Well, that is a great question, right? And the answer is here. I am greedy and I don't mind saying it. There it is. There it is. That's the level I'm looking at. 206. 206, 204. That's kind of like what I'm looking at to add more XRP. Why? Well, because I'm following my symmetrical wedge,
fuck.
and I'm okay waiting.
And I'll spawn
to get
again,
that
man.
Symmetrical wedge price,
ASAP.
which is gonna be 206, right? I have my PPF indicator right here, which I'm showing you guys, which is at 226. Which honestly, I think we're gonna go to 220. Let me add the volume. Oh, there it is. So look at the volume here. I know it's a little busy right there, but some of my TA friends will still be able to see it. I'm gonna hide this one. I think it's gonna be a little bit better, right? So this symmetrical wedge right now, as you can tell right here, I mean, it's so clearly on Saturday and Friday, the price of XRP started dropping. This is what we call a bear trap. Sorry, a bull trap. This is a massive, fat, and delicious bull trap. Okay? And we're gonna face more bull traps. And I knew that was a bull trap. And I didn't want to go in. This is what I was expecting. Now, I am holding till we drop more. And I don't care if 206, we already have a lot of FUD. I'm buying at that level, even though the price can go much lower. I'm buying at this. I'm deploying money. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm seeing right now. Galen is saying, I got tired of waiting for the dip, so I bought 3 other coins yesterday. Of course, XRP drops the day after I commit to others yesterday. Jalen, if you're new to the space, new to the channel, we've been telling all my community, for the last couple of days, Friday, Thursday, like I've been telling you already, guys, that when we put this level on Friday, I'm like, okay, I think so. It's time for us to come down. But as I mentioned before, it takes days. It just doesn't happen on the exact same day. It takes a few days because people wanna bleed it out, It just happens.
Oh shit! He behind us right here. He right here at the bomb.
What is going
right
on?
There,
Future high percentage of the house. What's up? Okay, I did it. The same thing around the same time period, January the 7th, January the 25th. Then it shoot up right after. Woohoo! Future. I'm seeing what you're doing in the comments, Future. My moderator and I, we've been seeing, all the help that you're bringing us to the comments. Right when I finish these live streams, and I just want to say thank you, Future, and I'm gonna make you a standard moderator for the loyalty, for the work. Appreciate it. So the only thing I'm gonna ask you is, whenever you see spam, help us remove it. That's it. That's it. Spam from bots, right? But other than that, I always
that slide fucked him up.
Give back to my community. So there you have it. Now you will be able to see some comments, and you can just remove only the spam. The FUD, I can handle that. All right? Appreciate it, brother. Welcome. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Now you're gonna have a beautiful blue color. DC in the house. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Oscar, prepare. We're going lower. I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready, man. 100% ready right here. Man, they're trying to scare you out of your position. They won't scare me out of my position. I'm locked and loaded. Locked and loaded, man.
Yeah, bitch.
Nice, man. River in the side. Sweet. Emily watching. What's happening? I mean, say goodbye to the Gulf of Mexico. Basically, I mean, I think there's a lot of things happening right now when it comes to news and headlines. I posted this one earlier today, right? So much happening right here. I mean, I think people are trying to understand, right, the changes in the economy. Like if I open up the stock market right now, I would see some changes too. So it kind of makes sense, right? When there's a big press conference, I think it lasted over 1 hour. Everybody's watching, and some people are seeing things that they are not liking. That's why, you know, I will say the sell-off, because other than that, fam, we got some great news when it comes to Ripple. We mentioned this one earlier today, right? Ripple partners with Chainlink Link to enhance the utility of RUSD across on-chain economy, right? Right? So that's pretty good news in my opinion. That's amazing news for RUSD, for XRP. I mean, there you have it. Slum Doge Millionaire. Why is everything dumping, right? So, what is this? Okay.
Fuck!
So there's gonna be a bunch more liquidations. I'm expecting that. You know, people kind of wanna see their crypto positions bleed. I get it, man. Wonderful play by the whales to scare people from the market right before the presidential inauguration. What is going on, Am Knight? Happy to see you, man. Oh yes, dude. You know, a few more days and we're gonna see some major pumps. Just have to wait for the end of that symmetrical wedge, guys. Right now, we have bread, Jasmine, 10%. That's really sexy. A lot of different. Look at that. When this happened just on Monday, just yesterday, we had a 1 month high for the price of Jasmine, and now we're in the buy zone right here for Jasmine at 0.35. Pepe's. Ooh, look at Pepe, man. That is a nice entry, maybe for the. I'm watching the 1 hour. Look at Pepe. That is a decent entry, you know. If you're trading, for those traders watching me right now on the screen, what's up, fam? That is a decent one. But you will have to take a look at other different things. I'm not talking about Pepe much here. I'm just telling you, you know, to keep an eye on Pepe. Dogecoin, ooh, Dogecoin. Yeah, I think meme coins right now, once again, a big shakeout, a big sell-off for the entire crypto industry, basically today. For the entire crypto industry. Bulls have been trapped. You never talk about BNB, and you're right, CEC, you're right. I never talk about BNB. I don't need to talk about BNB. It's just not in my portfolio right now. But I have so much respect for Binance because Binance is the #1, you know, as of today. So they don't need anybody. I mean, they already built the greatest exchange, right? And that's why Crypto.com and Coinbase and many others are trying, right, to get to that level. But Binance, they don't need anybody. I mean, Binance can do it on its own. That's what it is. Oscar in the building. What's up, everybody? 1,300 people watching us, guys. And drop a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, fam. Turn on those notification bells. We're watching some pretty nice sell-offs today. Let me go ahead and bring you the bubbles right now on the screen. Oh, yes. We got the alerts on right here too, fam. So once you subscribe, we'll go ahead and get to see you. You guys remember that about three lives ago, everything was green, right? Now we're seeing some double digits, some 1-digit drop. This time right now in the banter bubbles. Kind of tells me that, you know, it's time for us to retrace before we have a major, you know, breakout in anticipation to the inauguration, right? 5% down, and people go nuts. If you're trading, you do. Idaho. Why? Because people are getting liquidated right now. 205 by now. If I open up the liquidations, let me see. Bitcoin liquidations. I mean, that is Bitcoin, but there was another page. Take a look at this. Longs, right? Longs are the ones that are gonna get super destroyed. What is this? No. Anyway, I'll put it this way. We have in the 1 hour 37 million liquidations, long 34 million, 12 hours 346 million liquidations right here. In the last 24 hours, in the last 24 hours, in the last 12, that's a lot of money. In the last 4 hours, okay, here it is. There you go. In the last 4 hours, 266 million liquidations. See that? In the longs. So there was a lot of money that they really wanted to see with those liquidations. Man.
He down on bottom, going back in the spot.
Right now, long. $112 million liquidated from Binance right now. A lot of people getting destroyed. Bunch of longs. Real-time liquidations right now. Look at this. So, welcome to crypto, right? You never know. You never know. Bitcoin right now, bunch of liquidations too. So we are still keeping an eye on everything, fam, as you know. It is the name of the market. It is what it is, and we're gonna continue going ahead.
XRP Red Alert. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. Ripple just announced a massive partnership that could be huge for XRP. Plus, data that just came out has the stock market and crypto market pulling back. What is the reason this is happening? You can see all the red behind me, right? I got the red shirt on for the for the red day. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button. Listen, the likes on the videos have been declining, and so that's why the prices have been dropping down. This is just how crypto works. So we got to get the likes up, right? Wink, wink, right? There's no straight correlation between the two, but maybe. So currently XRP is sitting at $2.31, minus 4.5% on the day. Bitcoin dropped under 100,000, down minus 4.5% on the day. Ethereum 6.5, Solana 5, Jasmy almost 10, Algo almost 8, HBAR minus 2, but it was up. It was up like 4.5, 5%. Bonks, some 10% drops here. What's happening? What's going on? In the morning, everything was looking not amazing, but we weren't, with this big pullback. What happened here? I'll tell you what happened, but first, the Ripple Chainlink RLUSD partnership has been announced. RLUSD has adopted the Chainlink standard for verifiable data to fuel DeFi adoption with real-time secure pricing data. The future of stablecoin is here. So very interesting partnership between Ripple and Chainlink. Chainlink have been making lots of partnerships recently, and this is a new partnership here for XRP. We'll see how much action this will actually bring to the XRP ecosystem going forward. But any partnership, anything that happens, I think is a good thing. Very rare is it a bad thing, but we'll see how this plays out. Okay. Well, now to the data that came out and has some people freaking out, and let's see how much liquidation did we have. 400 million in the last 24 hours. Most of it is happening over the last
everybody? Oh boy, are you seeing the charts? And I'm ready, cash in hand, guys. We're waking up to breaking news. Ripple, Chainlink, plus CFTC news that are super hot. Take a look at what's on the screen right now, because I'm sure that in the last couple of hours you're seeing the price come down. And if you've been watching the videos, guys, here on the channel, we've been telling you that we're prepared, that we got some cash dedicated for the dips. And I want to tell you, what my thought process is. My latest ones, we got some all in under $2 XRP, just in case that we need to get those last dips before we rip. As you know, a few more days for that January the 20th, and things are getting more bullish. But in all my experience, I kind of knew that whales want to play games. They want to liquidate each other. They always want to bring the price down. And I'm taking a look at WatchGuru, kind of see what's going on in the markets. I don't really see many things happening at this time when it comes to news as far as the crypto market, but still, take a look at this now. When it comes to the price of Bitcoin,
you didn't hear him
98,
reloading right there behind you, big dog?
almost 97. Why? Sometimes it went to 102 yesterday. Now it's 98. Once again, you get the opportunity to buy cheap under 100,000 Bitcoin. That is why, guys, and I've been very open with you guys on this one. Oh, let me go ahead and fix this. I've been kind of like holding some cash on the side because of situations like this. And XRP, as you can tell, we went to 2.28. And we go lower. And what's the latest, Oscar? Boom. Drop a like, everybody. Consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on those notification bells. Welcome. Really nice to have you guys. We are well rested. So let's continue pumping or dumping wherever it is. We continue buying the dip. All right. Take a look at the links down below, and I'll tell you more later on that. So, watching.
I think what's happening is that we're trying to be ambiguous because the legal precision carries with it real implications. And this is why people have been coming to us and saying we need clear investment contract. If it is, what is that investment contract and how long does it track along with the token? By using imprecise language, we've been able to sort of suggest that the token itself is a security apart from that investment contract, which has implications for secondary sales. It has implications for who can list it. And I think this is absolutely, we've fallen down on our duty as a regulator not to be precise. And so tucking into a footnote that yes, we admit that now actually the token itself is not a security, that's something that we should have admitted long ago and then started wrestling with the difficult questions.
Right. So
I think what's happening is that we're trying to be ambiguous.
Happy Tuesday, and I've got big breaking news for you as 2 crypto haters have announced their resignation. We're also going to talk about Ripple's new partnership and how it's going to help out RLUSD and XB. Price talk at the end, by the way.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
And I got a bonus story for you that you're all going to absolutely love. But before we get into the good news today, your comments come first because you, the viewer, are most important. Tony Stitch starts us off and says Polyev and Trump will rock it. Canadians for Trump and Canadians for Polyev. Wow, got a lot of support there. Now that Trudeau's out the house. Crypto Recky Daddy says Nev Campbell pool scene from Wild Things. Oh, well done. Yes, Psycho Nev Campbell getting in on the action. Love to hear it. Galvanized says this part of Texas is 5 to 8 inches of snow headed to us. Oh, that sucks. Casey Fan says, well, hey, down here in South Florida, it's super sunny. Come for a run. Yeah, except in South Florida, humidity is like 100% 11 months out of the year. Bitcoin's in at 99,047. ETH is 35.62. XP's at 238. We're going to talk price here at the end because there's a new partnership we got to talk about. ADA's at $1.10. Squeeze at 4.96. And XLM's hovering right around 45 cents. US CFTC chair to step down. Flags the urgent need for crypto regulation. That's right. Rostin Behnam announced that he will step down January 20th. And this scumbag did absolutely nothing for crypto. What about all those Stellar fans out there that are like, yo, we hooked up with the CFTC, we're going to be in like Flint, and that didn't turn out to be anything. A mega nothing burger. Benham did jack shit to help out Crypto, not Christo. Rostin Benham, the chair of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, will step down on January 20th after a 4-year tenure marked by significant enforcement actions in the crypto sector and calls for stronger regulation. Benham oversaw high-profile cases, including a $4.3 billion settlement with Binance, but has expressed concerns about the lack of regulatory oversight. Benham told the Financial Times he was concerned about digital asset regs, describing it as insufficient due to a large swath of digital asset space. As he prepares to leave office, Benham emphasized the need for robust insight to address growing adoption. Dude did nothing. Seriously, dude was a waste of fucking space. And for everyone out there, it's like, oh, the CFTC is going to regulate crypto. It's going to be great for all of us. Dude, the CFTC, honestly, big nothing burger, loser organization. Another resignation for you. I told you I got breaking news, and this is another crypto hater gone. Michael Barr announces resignation. Signals a pause in new regs. Michael S. Barr, the Fed's vice chair for supervision, has announced his decision to step down from the leadership role. Barr will continue to serve as a member of the board until he plans to officially depart from the chair position on February 28th or once someone replaces him. Barr's tenure has been marked by his strong stance against cryptos, particularly stablecoins, and his vocal opposition to a U.S. CBDC. These positions aligned him closely with prominent figures like Elizabeth Warren, who advocated for stricter oversight. Financial expert Caitlin Long, a vocal critic of Barr, described his approach as overly restrictive and largely unsuccessful. Long also suggested that Barr's resignation was anticipated, particularly if a political shift were to occur. Well, obviously it's going to occur because Trumpito's taking the House and Poliva's taking the House as well. Now, I've got a bonus story for you. This story, ladies, it's going to make you sadden. Gentlemen, I hope you got a hoodie over your waist because this is going to make you pitch a tent. Are you ready for some of the best news? You're like, Klaus, you just gave us news about 2 crypto haters resigning, leaving room for 2 crypto positive people to take their place. You're telling me you got more for us? Yes, I do. And happy fucking Tuesday, because guess what I got? Meta ends fact-checking on Facebook and Instagram in a free speech pitch. Fuck yeah. Let's get the rest of these socials out there, out of the stupidity that they've been involved in. This is what Zuck the Cuck said. We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. Let's see if he's telling the truth, though, because I got to be honest with you, even my wife has been put in Facebook jail, and my wife's not a naughty person. More specifically, we're going to get rid of fact checkers. Fuck yeah, get rid of them losers. And replace them with community notes similar to X starting in the U.S. This pivot comes as Zuck the Cuck has looked to build ties with the incoming Trump administration. The day before Thanksgiving, the billionaire CEO dined with Trump at his Mar-a-Lago club. Meta has also donated $1 million. You know why they did that? Because they knew what they were doing was wrong. Science is all about questioning the science to improve, yet on Facebook, on Meta, when you question the science, you are banned. Zuck the Cuck now changing face. So, 2 big crypto resignations and someone against free speech. Guess what, everyone? Yes. Changing as well. Ripple adopts Chainlink standard to boost RLUSD integration with DeFi. The Chainlink standard provides a unified solution to overcome these limitations and provide the data required to accelerate RLUSD's adoption and fully realize the stablecoin opportunity. This comes from Johan E., Chief Business Officer at Chainlink, said this: "We're thrilled to be working with Ripple on accelerating the adoption of the recently launched RLUSD stablecoin through the adoption of Chainlink standard for verifiable data. The adoption of tokenized assets such as stablecoins will continue to accelerate in the incoming years, and have access critical to on-chain data will accelerate the process." Oh, what did Jack McDonald, Senior VP of Stablecoins at Ripple, say? By leveraging the Chainlink standard, we're bringing trusted data on-chain, further strengthening RLUSD's utility across both institutional and decentralized applications. So, partnership to help out RLUSD. I like it. What about this? RLUSD stablecoin explodes by G2000, becomes the 4th most traded stable out there. Ripple recently minted 1.8 million RLUSD, and the trading volume surged to over 2,000%. 4th early, but we're gonna keep following it. Ripple recently made a $1.8
Move.
billion USD on the ETH blockchain, as reported by Ripple Stablecoin Tracker. This move is part of the company's broader strategy to establish a strong presence in the market. In the past 24 hours, approximately 6.7 million was transferred across various platforms. Love it. Now, did it have an effect on XRP price directly? No, it didn't, but this is good news to have in your back pocket, isn't it, everyone? Broader look across the crypto market sees a lot of red showing up on the screen. Some players down 5%, some 2%. Fear and greed, we're sitting at 66 right now on the greed scale. 53 is barely into the altcoin season. XRP specifically is seeing a nasty candlestick happen at the time of me recording this. That's not good timing, Klaus. Let's swing on into those candlesticks and see exactly what the F word is happening. We're going to take it to the 15-minute mark so you can see exactly, whoa, that's not good. We were hanging out there right at 244, and this candlestick has taken us to a low of 233. Flash crash of 11 cents. And you're like, but bro, is it really a flash crash? Yeah, when it happens in 15 minutes and you knock out 11 cents, that is, but let's see where we're going to head. Now, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit further because this move is just happening. And look at that. Look at the waterfall happening from 244 down to 233. Now, this move is super early, and I'm going to see what happens with it because we could always bounce back from this point. And to be honest with you, XRP above 220 is what the market wants to see.
What?
But overall, the trend is still nice, as over the last month, we've essentially gone sideways on the action, and we've maintained the majority of the gains we've got from Trump coming into office, which is what? Less than 2 weeks away. So XRP price, well, you're seeing a move to the downside right now, but it's early in the day with volume up 22% to 4.8 billion. Going to keep our eyes on these candlesticks and see if the move continues on down, buying opportunity, or if we get a swing to the upside. There you go, short-term traders. There's some moves for you. And that move literally happened at the time of recording as I've got the candlesticks up on screen and I'm watching this as I do the outro. But awesome day today is 2 more crypto haters are resigning. Love it. Zuck the Cuck says Instagram and Facebook won't be fact-checking. Yeah, you fucking losers. It's not fact-checking. It's opinion funneling, you scumbags. So they're changing face. Why? Because we got a new El Presidente coming in. And that new El Presidente is not only having an effect on the crypto landscape, but also having an effect on the free speech landscape, or lack thereof is a better way to put it. Now I'm watching these candlesticks on the screen, and this thing just plummeted right down to 230, dropping 3 cents while I've been talking on this, and it is still going further down. 228 right now. What the heck is happening? Watching these sticks on the screen, XRP now is pumping its way back up. This is an absolute nuts move to watch, but wow. Took that move from 244 to sub 230. The low on this one is 228. Crazy volatility happening here with XRP. But they got a partnership with Chainlink to help out RLUSD launching integration and adoption. We're going to see what that partnership does for us. Price-wise, hey, we're still above 220, so I'm happy with that. Volume is still juicy. Crypto haters are leaving the market. Zuck the Cuck says we're going to be changing Meta in Instagram. I want to see if that actually happens. Maybe we should change a little bit of YouTube as well. I'm going to keep you updated as the news breaks, as XRP price does its thing, and of course, choo-choo, bitches.
It's the only country in the world where you can buy Ethereum staking-themed pasta in your local convenience store. But is crypto-crazy South Korea the model of mass adoption we should all aspire to? Now, earlier this year, we found out what's driving so many South Koreans to buy crypto, but in truth, we barely scratched the surface. So today, we return to our favourite Northeast Asian peninsula to dig deeper. We'll find out what mass adoption really looks like in Korea, how big Koreans' bags are, and how powerful institutions have turned Korea's crypto economy into a disaster waiting to happen. Fasten your seatbelt, we're headed to Seoul. According to South Korea's Financial Services Commission, Spot crypto trading volume in the country reached $817 billion in the first half of 2024, up 67% from the previous 6 months. This puts South Korea on track to obliterate a previous estimate of $970 billion in trading volume for the whole year. Now, that estimate was published back in July by CoinOne, and if their numbers are anything to go by, Korea has traded more spot crypto in just 6 months than many larger economies are expected to for the whole of 2024. For example, $817 billion is more volume than any European country is expected to generate this year. It's also more than the yearly volume estimate for the whole of South America. Mind you, CoinOne identified Palestine as a country in South America, so maybe we shouldn't rely on their analysis too much. Anyway, the point is, South Korea is trading a heck of a lot of crypto. It's one of the few countries where you don't need to wonder when retail investors are going to come to the market's rescue, because punting small caps on Upbit has been a national sport for a long time already. In the first half of 2024, the number of crypto investors rose 21% to 7,780,000, up from 6,450,000 in the previous 6 months. Now, that is a huge chunk of South Korea's population. According to the latest government census, there are about 43,448,000 adults in South Korea. This means that about 18% of the adult population is buying crypto, which is pretty wild. And if you're wondering why this tiny country is so crazy for crypto, well, like I said, we made a video answering this very question a little while back. And if you haven't seen it, check it out via the link in the description. It's a good primer for what we'll discuss today. But the short version is that for a lot of people in South Korea, crypto is a lottery ticket. This is reflected in the very small holdings of most crypto investors. More than 67% of crypto investors in South Korea own less than $360 worth of crypto, and just 10% have a crypto portfolio worth more than $7,250. So, ownership is widespread, but very few people own crypto in any quantity that could be considered a serious investment. In a wealthy country like South Korea, crypto holdings of a few $100 are probably best described as a punt rather than as an investment. Of course, many people around the world perceive crypto as a lottery ticket. But what's interesting about South Korea is that despite being an early adopter with widespread crypto ownership and an outsized footprint on the global crypto market, the whole political ethos of crypto never really caught on. Yes, crypto is many things in South Korea, but decentralized, private and peer-to-peer are not very high up on the list of priorities for most people. Similarly, crypto-adjacent philosophies from libertarianism and anarchism to the cypherpunk movement have never had much of a foothold in Korea. So, why is that? Well, we think the answer lies in historical and cultural reasons particular to the peninsula. Power in South Korea is centralized to a high degree in Seoul and in an oligopoly of mega conglomerates called chaebols who own everything. Decades of scandals in government and business have left the public wary and critical of these powerful institutions. But at the same time, their success is the success of the nation. Chaebols turned Korea from one of the poorest countries in the world to one of the richest. Naturally, their names, Samsung, Hyundai, SK and so on, carry a lot of prestige in society there. To work for one of them is a sign of high social status. So, the role of corporate power in Korea is complex. There's always one scandal or another going on. But, at the same time, chaebols are the pinnacle of success, and everyone wants to be successful. Now, maybe it's a stretch, but we think the prestige of the big, powerful corporation in Korea is reflected in crypto too. It can explain why, for example, XRP is very popular and DeFi is not. If you didn't already know, Korea is kind of crazy for XRP, which is usually just called Ripple over there. According to data from Kaiko Research, the most traded fiat to crypto pair on Upbit in 2023 was not BTC KRW, but XRP KRW. Over a 10-month period, XRP had the highest trading volume for 70 days, whereas BTC had the highest trading volume for 64 days. We think Ripple's appeal is similar to that of Tesla, whose cult following in South Korea probably overlaps a lot with Ripple's. XRP is a proxy for betting on Ripple, which is, in a way, another big prestigious tech company with a well-known leader who has found great success selling the promise of disruptive technology. At the other end of the spectrum, meanwhile, there's DeFi, which is less popular in South Korea than in North America, Europe, and other parts of Asia. In Chainalysis' latest report on global crypto adoption, South Korea's overall rank is dragged down a long way by its low score for DeFi adoption. Cointelegraph once published an interesting interview on this very topic. Do Woon Nam, founder of the local crypto research and advisory firm Stablenode, explained, quote, "We've done a lot of surveys and research, and most Koreans don't really access crypto from, let's say, MetaMask. Most of them just put it in the crypto exchanges and they never withdraw to a wallet. In fact, we have some surveys and realize that a lot of them don't even know private cold wallets exist." Well, I guess not your keys, not your crypto doesn't have the same ring to it in Korean. Nam also used the example of Terra to further make his point. Terra was a DeFi protocol, but Do Kwon's power over the project arguably undermined its claim to decentralization. According to Nam, this was not really seen as a problem in Korea. Rather than a protocol aspiring to decentralization, Terra was seen as another successful tech business with a recognizable figurehead. And another factor that has indirectly shaped Korea's crypto ecosystem is collectivism. Now, you might think, what on earth has that got to do with crypto? But let me explain. Generally speaking, South Korea is more collectivist than Western countries. While individual freedoms are protected by law, in daily life, the well-being of the overall public is typically a higher priority wherever the two may conflict. This is kind of anathema to libertarianism, where freedom means freedom from government interference in the life of the individual citizen. The example of the pandemic is a good one here. The Korean government's response was criticized from various quarters, just like in every other country. However, there was a strong public consensus that people should follow the government's advice, even if some individual freedoms were compromised in the process. A perhaps more salient example, though, is online privacy and anonymity. Crypto was created in part to enshrine the right to financial privacy and anonymity in immutable code. But in South Korea, the individual's right to online privacy and anonymity was sacrificed in the name of a greater public good long before crypto even existed. Specifically, this began in 2007 with the passage of the Real Name Verification Law, which abolished online anonymity in response to a crisis of online harassment and cyberbullying. The law required that people use their real name and government-issued ID number when signing up for a user account on a website. Now, this law was actually struck down just 5 years later by Korea's Constitutional Court on the basis that it infringed upon citizens' right to free speech and didn't effectively prevent online harassment. But despite that particular law being struck down, there is still no real anonymity on the Korean internet to this day. To do anything more than browsing, you need to verify your identity using a phone number connected to your real name and national ID number. Online harassment is still a major issue, by the way, but, well, that's another story for another YouTube channel. Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to very quickly tell you about the Coin Bureau deals page. This is the place where we put together all the amazing deals and promos that we're able to offer you guys exclusively as viewers of this channel. Head on over and you will find such things as discounts on hardware wallets, some seriously impressive trading fee discounts on some of the best exchanges, as well as some frankly mind-boggling sign-up bonuses for some of those exchanges too. The link is down below. Check it out when you have a moment. Thank me later. And now, back to the video. And whatever semblance of privacy and anonymity that Koreans once found in crypto has also long since been abolished. In 2018, KYC was implemented and anonymous trading banned on local exchanges. Ever since, a Korean national ID number has been required to use these exchanges. But the final nail in the coffin came in March 2022, when Korea became one of the first countries in the world to enforce the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF's, travel rule. Now, we should note here that the FATF is an international body headquartered in France. The Korean government didn't write this rule, but they certainly implemented it with gusto. Only Singapore did so faster, in fact. In Korea, the travel rule has banned users of local exchanges from making deposits or withdrawals using non-KYC wallets. If you want to interact with an exchange using a self-custody wallet like Phantom or MetaMask, you must first register it with the exchange so that it is identifiable as your own wallet, in effect turning it into a KYC'd wallet. If you want to make an exchange withdrawal worth more than 1 million won, about $730, the exchange has to report the transaction along with the identity of the sender and receiver to the government's Financial Services Commission. Also, if you're guilty of owning more than $70,000 worth of crypto, the FSC will actively monitor your wallet and activity for anti-money laundering purposes. If international exchanges want to be able to send and receive transfers from users of Korean exchanges, they must comply with the travel rule guidelines too. And it doesn't help that top exchanges in Korea use two different versions of the travel rule with different guidelines. Of course, the KYCification of everything in crypto is a global phenomenon. If you live in the English-speaking world, you're probably affected by it too. But South Korea is quite a severe case because every blockchain wallet is subject to KYC, and crypto is now plugged into the same zero anonymity regime where everything you do online is traceable to your government-issued ID. Even Litecoin got delisted from major Korean exchanges in 2022 after a privacy-enhancing upgrade was rolled out. The government is not messing around here. They are committed to blocking their citizens from enjoying financial privacy via crypto. Of course, this isn't to say that nobody has found a way around this all-seeing KYC regime. Korea has plenty of sophisticated crypto enthusiasts who dabble in DeFi, trade futures on offshore exchanges, because there are no derivatives on Korean exchanges, and do everything else crypto users in other countries do. But the fact is that most of the 7.78 million crypto owners in Korea are not these power users. As we saw earlier, most are punting small sums of money, and they aren't likely to go to more trouble than is necessary to do so. In other words, they're just using Korean won to buy crypto on a Korean exchange, and this keeps them in a hermetically sealed KYC sandbox. Of course, all of this is great news for Korean centralized exchanges because the government has basically handed them a captive market. According to the Financial Services Commission, Korean centralized exchanges made 5.9 trillion won, or $4.2 billion in profit in the first 6 months of 2024, a year-on-year increase of 106%. To put things into perspective, Coinbase's total revenue for the same period was $3.8 billion. The main beneficiary is Upbit, whose market share oscillates between 80 and 90%. Upbit has enough financial firepower to comply with whatever regulation the government wants to dish out, which is not always the case for its competitors. Compliance can be expensive, putting smaller exchanges at a distinct disadvantage. Recently, Upbit's smaller competitors, BitHum, Corbit, and GoPax, have been trapped in a race to the bottom, trying to siphon users away from Upbit by offering lower fees. The problem is, Upbit's trading fees are 0.05%. So, in order to attract new users, these other exchanges have resorted to running sporadic zero trading fee campaigns. This works a charm right up until the campaign ends and everyone goes back to Upbit. It's a tough market out there. But now the authorities are starting to take the centralization risk posed by Upbit a little more seriously. The government recently launched an arguably long overdue monopoly probe into Upbit. The probe is specifically interested in its relationship with K-Bank, the banking partner with whom Upbit customer deposits are custodied. Last year, Korean media reported that more than 70% of the deposits in K-Bank are related to crypto. Since K-Bank has about $11.5 billion in deposits, this means that more than $8 billion is crypto related, and K-Bank has become Korea's de facto crypto bank. This has started to make lawmakers a little antsy because, what happens if there is a run on Upbit? There hasn't been a successful hack since 2019, but there were almost 160,000 attempts last year. It would only take one getting through to start a run on the exchange. Or there could be an internal security lapse, like last year when users were able to deposit fake Aptos coins on Upbit and have them recognized as genuine APT by the exchange. Disaster was only narrowly averted on that occasion. Now, in other countries, banks typically limit their exposure to crypto to around 2% tops. This is the case for other banks in Korea, who also have some nominal exposure to crypto. But at 70%, K-Bank is so far gone that it's basically an accident waiting to happen. Former conservative lawmaker Kim Hee-gon observed that, quote, "At this point, it isn't an exaggeration to say that K-Bank has degenerated into Upbit's private treasury." So, it only took the revelation that the nation's crypto economy is perched on a single terminally overexposed bank, but a monopoly investigation is finally underway. What will come of it remains to be seen, but we can hope that the authorities' interests might align with those of crypto for once. So far, they've shown little regard for privacy, anonymity,
Man,
and
get the fuck out of here.
AML, KYC, and capital controls take precedence, and this is unlikely to change. But if the government takes this monopoly stuff seriously, then they might start to appreciate the value of decentralization, at least. Imagine the government encouraging citizens to self-custody their own crypto instead of putting everything on Upbit and in K-Bank. That would be a pretty cool solution, even if the travel rule forces everyone to KYC their own self-custody wallets. Hey, you've got to count your hypothetical wins, right? Well, we can dream. And while we're at it, let's hope nothing ever happens to Upbit, because the consequences would be devastating. So, what can we learn from all of this? Clearly, crypto has penetrated the mainstream in South Korea. It's just not quite what Satoshi had in mind. If anything, it's a cautionary tale of how mass adoption of crypto can happen without accomplishing much of what crypto was originally intended for. Because at the moment, Korea's legal, regulatory and market infrastructures are funneling mainstream demand for crypto into a centralized exchange monopoly where anonymity, privacy and self-sovereignty and decentralization are irrelevant, if not impossible. And if the sound of that is enough to put you off your kimchi, you should keep tabs on how regulation is progressing in your country too. Koreans were early adopters of crypto, and the government has similarly been ahead of the curve in regulating it. But the country you're watching this from might be wandering down the exact same road, just a few steps behind. Indeed, earlier this year, panic struck in the hearts of crypto bros throughout Europe when a news article claiming that anonymous crypto wallets had been made illegal in the EU racked up almost 1 million views on crypto Twitter. Thankfully, this was a misinterpretation of the EU's new crypto regulations, and this was false information. But you know, it's probably good to freak out about this kind of thing once in a while, because you had better believe powerful crypto haters like the Fat F would love nothing more than to enforce KYC on every private wallet on every blockchain. Call it speculation if you like, but it's the logical conclusion of the KYC regime, which doesn't work if there are blind spots. And at the moment, our private wallets are those blind spots. So if we don't want to end up like our Korean compatriots having to KYC self-custody wallets just to make exchange deposits and withdrawals, well, we should probably start raising our voice about it. Alrighty, what a ride that was, from Ethereum staking pasta to Korea's degen bank via the global KYC panopticon. There's plenty of food for thought there. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little bearish on the ETH pasta. I'm waiting for the XRP ledger Linguini to come out before I book my next flight to Seoul. Anyhow, if you got something out of this video, don't forget to drop us a like and make sure you're subscribed and have your bell notifications switched on so you don't miss our next upload. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. My name is Guy, Kudom, and Yong. Bitcoin is the best performing asset of the last 10 years.
The absolute best.
And if you're watching this, you probably knew that already. But how well do you know why that is? What makes BTC so valuable, and why are institutions and governments taking it so seriously nowadays? After all, not that long ago, it was just silly internet money. If you still think the answer is pure speculation, then this video is for you. We've got a new report from BlackRock that lays bare the real reason why elites are accumulating BTC as fast as they can. So, if you want to find out why, you'd better lock in. So, the report we have today comes from BlackRock and it's entitled Bitcoin, a Unique Diversifier. Now, BlackRock's thesis is contained in the subtitle, Why Bitcoin's Appeal to Investors Lies in Its Detachment from Traditional Risk and Return Drivers. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, BlackRock. Now, we all know that since the spot ETFs launched back in January, BlackRock has been Bitcoin's biggest cheerleader on Wall Street. But you may be surprised to learn that it's actually been dabbling in crypto for more than 2 years now. In the foreword to this report, the authors remind us that BlackRock began offering its institutional clients the ability to invest and trade in BTC back in August 2022. This was when it integrated Coinbase Prime into its portfolio management platform. And in the same month, BlackRock also launched a private BTC trust for its institutional clients. This is just something to keep in mind when we discuss the spot ETFs, because they tend to be talked about as a watershed moment in institutional adoption of Bitcoin. And this is partly true, but if you saw our last video about who is buying the ETFs, you'll know that the inflows are mostly from retail investors. Institutions who wanted BTC have been able to get their hands on it through BlackRock for quite some time now. Anyway, the authors also tell us that BlackRock spent years studying Bitcoin before any of this came to fruition, and from the report, it's clear that they've done their homework. This report covers 3 or 4 main themes, namely why Bitcoin matters, its unique risk profile, its low correlation to other assets, and why all of the above make it an excellent portfolio diversifier for TradFi investors. So, let's start with why Bitcoin matters. Now, if you're subscribed to this channel, you probably don't need persuading, but for what it's worth, BlackRock sure knows how to market this thing. The report describes the basic properties of BTC as, quote, breakthroughs to multiple centuries-old problems that other forms of money have struggled with. Specifically, these problems are inflation and debasement, difficulty transacting across borders, access limited by geography, and control by a central authority. Bitcoin resolves these problems by being a decentralized, permissionless, and truly open access monetary system. Nothing like this has ever existed before. BTC's hard-coded supply cap of 21 million units means it can't be easily debased, and its digitally native nature means it can be transported anywhere in the world in near real time at near zero cost. For the first time ever, we have a form of money that makes moving value across political borders completely frictionless. Now, the authors include a slightly unsettling footnote, though, which reads, quote, there is no guarantee that the current 21 million supply cap for outstanding Bitcoin, which is estimated to be reached by approximately the year 2140, will never be changed. It's safe to say that this is just BlackRock's lawyers playing it extremely safe, but sheesh, it's enough to give you goosebumps. Well, good to see BlackRock won't be getting sued if an attack on the network ever succeeds, or if they cause a fork via their influence on publicly traded Bitcoin miners. Anyway, moving on. The report turns to BTC's historical performance. This covers the 169 months between the launch of the first Bitcoin exchange, Mt. Gox, RIP, in July 2010 and the end of July 2024. So, who knows how many X's BTC gave us during this period? Drumroll, please. 807,000 X. Whew, not too shabby. Now, the report points out that BTC has outperformed all major asset classes in 7 of the last 10 years, leading to a return of more than 100% annualized over this period. The other 3 years, Bitcoin was famously the worst performing asset, with drawdowns of more than 50%. For volatility-averse investors, this could be unappealing, but on the other hand, it's pretty amazing to see your buying and selling seasons penciled into the calendar so clearly. The report then turns to the drivers of Bitcoin's price action. The authors point out that BTC has no traditional counterparty risk, depends on no centralized system, and is not driven by any one country's fortunes. This means it has little fundamental exposure to other macro risk factors like banking system crises, sovereign debt crises, currency debasement, geopolitical disruption, and other country-specific political and economic risks. However, it's not that BTC is unaffected by the macro risk factors, it's just not so much to the downside. Because, as the report explains, these very risk factors are actually drivers for Bitcoin's adoption. Specifically, concerns over global monetary instability, geopolitical disharmony, US fiscal sustainability, and political stability are exactly what makes BTC so appealing. As an example, the report highlights the build-up of national debt in the US and elsewhere as a particularly powerful driver. If you're not caught up on the mounting national debt crises around the world, you can get up to speed with our video on it over here. But, as BlackRock points out, spiralling national debt is increasing the appeal of, quote, alternative reserve assets as a potential hedge against possible future events affecting the US dollar. The authors cite their own experience with clients and claim that this driver, quote, explains a substantial portion of the recent broadening institutional interest in Bitcoin. So, perhaps you can see how TradFi investors' perception of BTC has evolved from wildcard to flight to safety in times of macroeconomic stress. Or at least this is the case for investors who have a solid understanding of Bitcoin. I say this because the market tends to show a mixed reaction when faced with macroeconomic shocks. As the report explains, BTC usually dumps pretty hard before quickly recovering and proceeding to rally. This price action suggests a market divided between those who consider it a risk-on asset and those who view it as a flight to safety. The authors attribute this dump and pump reaction to two factors. One being the immature nature of the crypto market and investors' understanding of Bitcoin. This makes sense, but we find the other factor more persuasive. And that's the fact that Bitcoin trades 24/7 and settles to cash almost instantly. Because it is so saleable, it functions as a kind of alarm bell during periods of stressed liquidity in traditional markets, especially over weekends. Although, for what it's worth, there's also a third factor that we can't leave out, and that is just leverage traders getting liquidated. Leverage degens are a huge part of why BTC tends to dip so hard whenever financial markets get spooked. One liquidation tends to trigger another, and this domino effect drags the price of BTC down more sharply than most people expect. But, unlike traditional risk-on assets, BTC tends to recover very quickly and continue outperforming everything else after macroeconomic shocks. To demonstrate this, the report compares the 10-day and 60-day returns of the S&P 500, gold, and BTC during major geopolitical events in the last 5 years. Of these events, the pandemic is the clearest example of BTC dumping in the short term before rallying hard. Here, the authors take the 11th of March 2020 as their reference point, a day when the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by 10% amid pandemic fears. 10 days later, the S&P 500 was down by 20%, gold by 9%, and BTC by 25%. In this case, BTC suffered the worst sell-off, but the 60-day returns show a reversal of fortunes. The S&P and gold just about recovered from their losses, printing gains of 2% and 3% respectively. Meanwhile, BTC was up 21%. However, when you take these macro events in aggregate, BTC outperforms over both the 10-day and 60-day periods. This is not surprising because after a shock, BTC rarely takes 10 days to recover. It's usually much faster. If we wanted to really show BTC's dump then pump reaction to macro shocks, we should probably look at the 3-day rather than the 10-day returns. Case in point, the flash crash on the 5th of August. As a reminder, this was related to the Bank of Japan raising its interest rates and the consequent unwinding of the Japanese yen carry trade. If you're not sure what that was all about, well, you can check out our video about it here. Anyway, on that day, markets around the world dumped hard. BTC dropped 7% in 24 hours and the S&P dropped 3%. Mind you, this event coincided with crypto-specific bearish catalysts, including Mt. Gox distributions and Genesis liquidating large amounts of crypto for creditor repayments around the same time. Yet, despite the confluence of bearish happenings in the crypto market, BTC recovered and overtook its pre-dump level within 3 days. By contrast, the S&P 500 took a week to do the same. So, at least in this case, BTC dropped twice as sharply, but still bounced back twice as hard as the S&P. Now, let's go back to those 10-day and 60-day returns for a minute. At the time of making this video, 60 days haven't yet passed since the 5th of August flash crash, so we'll leave this one out. That leaves us with 5 major macro shocks from 2020 to 2023. On 3 of these occasions, BTC printed 10-day returns in excess of 10%. By contrast, gold was up 10% on just one occasion. Meanwhile, the S&P never saw a 10-day return of more than 7%. It's a similar story for 60-day returns. BTC was up between 15 and 131% on all 5 occasions. The S&P managed to print 12% one time, but less than 5% on the other 4 occasions. Similarly, gold returned 11% once, but sub 10% returns on every other occasion. So, based on this data at least, BTC bounces harder and runs faster than gold and the S&P 500. What's not to like? It dumps when everything else does, but over time frames even as short as 10 days, this co-movement evaporates. It doesn't amount to any statistically significant correlation in the long term. Bitcoin just tends to do its own thing and doesn't take its marching orders from gold, the S&P, or any other major asset class. As the report's authors put it, BTC has, quote, risk and return drivers that are distinct from traditional asset classes and that are fundamentally uncorrelated on any long-term basis. This is made clear on a graph showing the trailing 6-month correlation of BTC and gold with the S&P 500 over the last 9 years. And what a mess it is. It looks like a careless application of mustard and ketchup on a hot dog. The average correlation is 0.1 for gold and 0.2 for BTC. And this is ultimately BlackRock's pitch to its investors in this report. BTC's value to TradFi investors is its weak correlation with other major asset classes. If you're wondering why this matters, the clue is in the report's title, Bitcoin, a unique diversifier. Alright, let's rewind for a moment. In the introduction, the authors explain that one of the most common questions BlackRock's crypto-curious clients ask is Bitcoin a risk-on or risk-off asset? Now, the concept of risk-off may be unfamiliar to you degens out there, but the risk-on, risk-off binary is a foundational principle for structuring portfolios in TradFi. You've probably heard of the traditional 60-40 portfolio, where 60% consists of risk-on assets, typically stocks, and 40% is risk-off, typically bonds. Heck, plenty of us in crypto use this structure for our portfolios too. It's just that, barring stablecoins, the most risk-off asset we have is BTC. So, a conservative crypto portfolio could be 60% BTC and 40% ETH. Funny how risk is subjective like that. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know exactly how we at the Coin Bureau are structuring our portfolios, we share all of our crypto holdings with members of the Coin Bureau Club. Aside from getting the scoop on what we're buying and selling, our members also vote on promising low-cap cryptos and protocols for us to review each week in the classic format that we made our name with. But that's not all. The team and I share regular market updates, insights and alpha in the private Coin Bureau Club Discord channel, where you'll find the most welcoming community in all of crypto. Shill-free and packed with the high-quality information that can help you get an edge in the market. We'd love to see you there, so if you're interested, you can find out using the link in the description. Anyway, back to BlackRock. Now, the fact that their clients are asking in earnest about Bitcoin's risk profile is pretty remarkable. Just a few years ago, BTC was dismissed as a gamble rather than an investment, and not something to be taken seriously by TradFi types. And now they want to know if it's a risk-off asset? Well, well, well. Now, we'd like to say this is a sign of how far crypto has come, but to be honest, it's more a symptom of bifurcation. In other words, there's Bitcoin and then there's everything else in crypto. The gap feels pretty wide at the moment. Will it get wider? Well, that's a question for another video, but let us know in the comments what you think. Anyway, in response to this risk-on, risk-off question, BlackRock explains that the answer is actually neither. The authors acknowledge that BTC is a relatively risky investment by itself, but this is when you compare it to, say, bonds or whatever Warren Buffett is buying. However, Bitcoin's unique properties make this a square peg in a round hole situation. BTC just doesn't fit into the same traditional risk profiles as stocks, bonds, other commodities, real estate, and so on. This is because, as we've seen, its risk and return drivers are, quote, starkly different and in many cases inverted versus most traditional investment assets. Now, rising geopolitical tensions, spiraling government debt and deficits, relentless currency debasement and political instability. All of the things that are considered risk factors for most traditional investment assets and generally very bad for us and the world. Well, it looks like they're pretty good for BTC. Just look at the table we saw earlier. In some of the hairiest situations the world has seen this decade, BTC has outperformed other major assets. To recap, the US assassinates Iran's top military commander. BTC rallies.
Yo, what the
world
fuck?
is terrified by a global pandemic. BTC dips and then rallies. There's turmoil over the US presidential election. BTC goes absolutely nuts. Russia invades Ukraine. BTC hiccups and then rallies. There's a regional banking crisis in the US that affects banks serving the crypto industry in particular. BTC, let's see here, yeah, it rallies. Now, BTC may be a young asset compared to anything else that TradFi investors are interested in, but it has clearly passed many macroeconomic stress tests with flying colours. However, it's worth pointing out that there is a final boss that Bitcoin has yet to meet, and that is a recession. So, the last recession happened in 2008, and real crypto heads will know that the disastrous banking practices that caused it were Satoshi's inspiration for creating Bitcoin in the first place. The Genesis block was mined in January 2009. So, it's kind of funny because for an asset so closely associated with cycles, BTC has never been cycle tested in the macroeconomic sense. The global economy is guaranteed to fall into another recession at some point, and some people are worried that one is overdue. So, this begs the question of how BTC will respond. Well, that might depend on the catalyst. For example, if spiraling government debt gets out of hand and there's some kind of currency crisis, maybe with, say, the Japanese yen, BTC will likely be in high demand. Then again, fiat currency crisis disaster is basically the Bitcoin maxi's dream come true, so this might be wishful thinking. If the next recession is caused by something less obviously bullish for BTC, well, then it's harder to say. BlackRock's report shows us that BTC can't be pigeonholed as a typical risk-on or off asset. It tends to outperform in times of geopolitical tension and macroeconomic stress, but it is also the most liquidity-sensitive asset there is. If liquidity dries up for an extended period, it's probably too much to ask for BTC to go on some crazy tear. But, on the other hand, in a recession, liquidity will probably never dry up for an extended period. That's because, no matter what catalyst kicks off the next recession, central banks are likely to respond with more quantitative easing. More QE means more fiat currency debasement, in which case Bitcoin literally can't lose. This is just our best guess though, so let us know what you think in the comments. How do you see BTC behaving in a real recession?
Yo, you cheating. I know you
Max
fucking
Payne
cheating.
even look like?
Hell
As
yeah,
far as we,
I know you
BlackRock
fucking
can
cheating.
tell, most of the bad stuff that can
Yeah, you
happen
ain't
in
miss now
geopolitics
shot,
and the
bitch
global
ass
economy
nigga, cheating
only
pussy.
seems to make Bitcoin stronger. I'm not sure if we should be happy about that, but well, I think I need to own more BTC. Alright folks, we'll leave it there. So, if you got something out of this video, don't forget to smash the like button. And if you're not subscribed or you haven't yet turned on your bell notifications, go on, be kind to yourself. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. This is Guy, signing off. Hey, so remember when FTX collapsed?
Shocked by what happened this month. We messed up big.
Of course you do. That's a scar that's never going away. Now, you might also remember that Silvergate Bank was accused of conspiring with FTX in shady dealings. But maybe Silvergate wasn't actually at fault. Sounds crazy, right?
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Well, perhaps not. According to insights from a well-respected and well-placed figure in the crypto industry, we might not have the whole story. So, follow us down the rabbit hole as we break this saga down and tell you why things aren't as they seem. Let's dig in. The source for today's video is an article titled "Inside the Biden Admin's Plan to Destroy Silvergate and Debank Crypto for Good." Now, just to clarify, this video isn't partisan, it's just a straightforward summary of the facts at hand. And we'll leave a link to the full article in the description, and we do recommend you check it out. We'll summarise the juiciest parts for you here in this video though. Now, the piece was written by Nick Carter, and if that name sounds familiar, that's because aside from being a partner at Castle Island Ventures, co-presenting the excellent On the Brink podcast, and generally being a vocal advocate for the industry, Nick also coined the term Operation Choke Point 2.0. For those unfamiliar, Choke Point 2.0 is a rogue operation by US regulators to restrict crypto companies' access to banking services, effectively choking them out of funding. And you can learn more about Operation Choke Point 2.0 in the description. Now, the reason why we're talking about Choke Point 2.0, by the way, is because the original Operation Choke Point was conducted by the Obama administration and targeted other unfavoured industries such as firearms and gambling, aiming to likewise choke off their access to banking. The current administration resurrected and repurposed it to go after crypto. Anyway, Nick's article kicks off with an introduction to Silvergate, once a major bank for crypto institutions. Silvergate's popularity exploded when it introduced the Silvergate Exchange Network, or SEN, a crucial bit of infrastructure that allowed its crypto clients to settle 24/7, rather than being restricted to normal banking hours. At its peak, nearly every big crypto firm was banking with Silvergate. By the end of 2021, crypto companies held over $11 billion in deposits, 82% of the bank's total. That is an incredible statistic. Unfortunately though, not all of Silvergate's clients were so incredible. In 2017, it onboarded Alameda Research, run by Diddy's current cellmate, Sam Bankman-Fried. When SBF created FTX in 2018, Silvergate served them too. And for a while, things were looking pretty great. Fast forward though to May 2022, and things weren't so great. The collapse of the UST stablecoin sent the crypto market into chaos. Soon after, crypto lenders Voyager, Celsius and BlockFi went under, followed by trading firm Three Arrows Capital, thanks to what Nick calls, quote, remarkably stupid long bets on Terra Luna. But the final nail in Silvergate's coffin came when FTX and SBF's empire came crashing down in November. While this was happening, companies using Silvergate were panicking, with many withdrawing funds in quick succession. Not only that, but Silvergate's own assets were devaluing. That's because it had mainly invested in government-issued treasury bonds and securities, which are normally regarded as very low risk. However, the Federal Reserve had started raising interest rates around this time, meaning Silvergate was forced to sell assets at a loss in order to honour withdrawals. Consequently, Silvergate closed 2022 with a net loss of almost $1 billion. Today, Silvergate no longer exists. However, it continues to face scrutiny for its ties to FTX. People wondered how the bank hadn't noticed SBF's shady activity, and these questions quickly got the attention of Elizabeth Warren, possibly the world's most anti-crypto politician. Warren wrote 2 angry letters to Alan Lane, Silvergate's CEO, accusing the bank of criminal liability due to its relationship with FTX. And this caught the attention of the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, that is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. I know, quite a mouthful. Anyways, they issued a joint statement warning banks about the risks of serving crypto companies. Just 2 days later, Silvergate downsized, and the regulators followed with a second joint statement. Silvergate shares crashed, and in March 2023, it announced voluntary liquidation. And by the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, liquidate those like, subscribe, and bell buttons to help others find it.
Hey man, hey, what do you do for a living?
Me? I'm a crypto YouTuber. Yes, pretty fun job actually. See ya.
What about you? What do you do for a living?
Oh, me, man, I checked the CoinBureau deals page. It's got sign-up bonuses of up to $100,000 and trading fee discounts, but I mean huge trading fee discounts, and exclusive altcoin alpha in their subscription service. Check it out.
Now, this is where things get really intriguing. As Nick explains, Silvergate's decision to voluntarily liquidate was bizarre. Normally, failing banks go into receivership, whereupon regulators, usually the FDIC, step in before they're sold off to larger banks. So then, why was the decision made to liquidate? What if there's more to the story? As Nick asks, quote, what if there's another version of events in which Silvergate was a victim of FTX, not an accomplice to their crimes? More specifically, what if Silvergate was intentionally killed by the Biden administration? Could Silvergate's settlements with regulators have been a cover for Operation Choke Point 2.0? And worst of all, did this pressure contribute to the 2023 banking crisis? Well, after weighing up the facts and speaking to various insiders, Nick believes this could very well be the case. Back in early 2023, Nick started hearing from individuals from Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and...
You a hoe-ass nigga!
All reporting intense
fucking faggot
from regulators.
You a
because
faggot.
Of this pressure, many crypto-friendly banks simply stopped serving crypto businesses. And this is where Nick draws comparisons to the original Operation Choke Point of the Obama era. And safe to say, Choke Point 2.0 proved effective. Just 1 day after Silvergate announced it would go into voluntary liquidation, Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. This was soon followed by Signature Bank going into receivership, despite a board member protesting that it was solvent and that the move was politically motivated. Nick also spoke to Silvergate insiders, from whom he learned that the bank was forced to close due to a secretive 15% cap on crypto deposits. What's worse is that this deposit limit wasn't even in writing. It was imposed verbally, which means there's no paper trail. How convenient. But why comply if this policy was only issued verbally? Well, according to one insider, regulators can shut down a bank for nearly anything. So, when they speak, banks are forced to listen. Not only that, but the FDIC had reportedly refused to allow Signature to sell its $4 billion in crypto-related deposits. And rather than allowing these to be acquired along with the company by Flagstar Bank, Signature was forced to return them to clients. Now, these threats by regulators were essentially an indirect attack on the crypto industry. It's no coincidence that this enforcement destroyed 2 of the largest crypto-friendly banks in the US. And what's crazy is that Silvergate was basically sworn to secrecy because certain details were labeled as, quote, confidential supervisory information, or CSI. Now, normally, CSI is designed to protect banks from leaks of sensitive information, but in this case, it was weaponized against them. And what's particularly concerning is the source of this policy, widely believed to have been Bharat Ramamurthy. Now, for reference, Ramamurthy was the deputy chair of Biden's National Economic Council at the time, and was previously the economic policy director on Elizabeth Warren's 2020 presidential campaign. Today, Ramamurti is an advisor to Kamala Harris's campaign. So, if you're unsure of what a Harris administration could mean for crypto, this gives you a clue. Spoiler alert, it's not great. Anyway, more evidence to suggest that Chokepoint 2.0 was in full effect can be found in Silvergate's bankruptcy filing. That's because its chief admin officer, Elaine Hetrick, explained that while Silvergate was struggling in the face of crypto's downturn and interest rate hikes, it was still solvent. According to Elaine, the real problems came from regulatory scrutiny of its business model. Now this is significant because it means that Silvergate probably would have survived if it wasn't being squeezed by regulators. This squeeze forced Silvergate to move away from crypto clients, its biggest customer base. And as Nick points out, Elaine is legally limited in what she can reveal, but her version of events contradicts the official story outlined by the Government Accountability Office, or GAO, which doesn't mention regulatory pressures once. This is further evidence to suggest that Chokepoint 2.0 was a government-led operation kept secret in order to protect the Biden administration's reputation. In the next part of the article, Nick highlights how strange it was that Silvergate went in